Welcome back. Well, we are in first alert mode for the hazardous conditions we have on the way from rain, freezing rain, snow, and strong winds likely through this afternoon, this evening, tonight, and possibly into tomorrow morning. Right now, as you can see, not a whole lot going on, just some thick clouds kind of blanketing the area as we make our way through the morning hours. This is looking out in Mankato at US Highway 14 west of 3rd Avenue. Roads are okay. I say that because you can see that they are a little wet out there and temperatures are below freezing, so there are chances for areas of black ice and things like that, so just use that caution. Right now we're seeing as low as about 15 degrees down in the Spencer area in northwestern Iowa. From there we go up into the 20s at 25 degrees here in Mankato, St. Peter, Glencoe, as well as in Owatonna. The warmest we're sitting at is about 27 degrees, hanging on in Waseca, Olivia, and now out by Slayton. Thankfully, winds are relatively light for now, because I did kind of tease that we are looking at strong winds. But one thing that we're already noticing is that winds have kind of switched for most of us and are now coming out of the west-northwest. We'll see a little bit of some fluctuation in those directions today, but the biggest thing that you need to take note of is that we are looking at some strong winds on the way. Now, because winds are rather light right now, you don't have to worry too much about a wind chill, but you can see some of us dealing with a minor wind chill, making it feel more like the upper teens and low 20s for a majority of the area, which is about a 5-degree difference, give or take. Some of us closer to about a 10-degree difference, but all in all, still seeing teens out there with the wind chill values, where before the last few mornings we've had single digits and or temperatures below zero for what it's felt like. So it is really overall one of the warmer mornings that we've had so far. Like I said, winds are going to increase, becoming quite strong as that system moves in. So these winds are going to be increasing up to 30 miles an hour as that precipitation is moving into the area. Temperatures will eventually reach a high of about 37 degrees through the early evening hours and then slowly start to drop below freezing after midnight, which is why we have that chance of rain and freezing rain as well as snow in the forecast. Now you add that wind to the equation and you could be dealing with some areas of blizzard-like conditions around when we see some of that snow in the area, which is why we have a winter storm watch in the yellow, a winter weather advisory there in the purple, and a winter storm warning in the red up to the northwest of us. All of these watches, warnings, advisories will go into effect between this afternoon and evening and then remain in effect until between tomorrow morning and afternoon, as we are looking at a little bit of accumulation. But the biggest concern is not how much snow we are going to see. The biggest concern is what kind of hazards is this going to bring to the area. Now, as of right now, we're not seeing a whole lot in the area, just seeing a little bit of some flurries move into central Minnesota. We've got that snow to freezing rain mix in North Dakota. That's what we're watching closely, because that eventually will move into the area. As we take a look at the futurecast, that's going to move in through the late morning, early afternoon hours. As you can see, anywhere from snow, freezing rain to rain. And that's because as we go through this afternoon, temperatures are going to rise. So a lot of this could start off as snow, but then as those temperatures rise, it's going to show rain, right? But guess what? Up above us in the upper atmosphere might not be quite that warm. So a lot of this is going to start as snow and then slowly potentially melt as it reaches us here at the surface. How it melts is going to determine if we see rain or freezing rain. If we see that kind of rain fall, but then it freezes on contact, that's when you have freezing rain, which is not good. If it doesn't freeze on contact, that's when you have rain. So we're looking at a mix of all of that. As of right now, that's looking to kind of give us a break after about 7 o'clock tonight. Maybe see a pockets of clear sky in the mix. And then after midnight, when those temperatures start to reach freezing and colder, we've got a chance of flurries to some light snow possible, but all of that will wrap up by about 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. Like I said, a fresh dusting of snow is likely out there, but here's the concern. We're looking at about 1/10 of an inch or less of rain, and you're probably going, well, that's not a whole lot of rain. And yeah, well, normally we wouldn't be concerned about that, but we have those dropping temperatures on the way, which means all of this rain that falls and leads to melting snow is going to freeze and refreeze underneath that layer of snow, and a little bit of some freezing ice accumulation possible. We're looking at less than 1/10 of an inch, but you don't need a whole lot of freezing ice or just freezing rain, excuse me, or ice to lead to some hazardous conditions, especially when you have snow in the forecast that's going to stack up on top of that freezing ice or rain, excuse me. So that being said, you've got rain, then snow, that's all going to melt, and you'll have that layer of ice underneath that snow, which poses the risk. Thankfully for us, we're only looking at a dusting up to 2 inches in portions of the area at most, with a low of 19 19 degrees by tomorrow morning. Here's a look at your extended forecast. Dropping temperatures throughout tomorrow, which poses why we are concerned about that threat for ice underneath the snow, especially with snow chances nearly every day going into the upcoming weekend. Thankfully, we'll see some quieter, drier conditions with sunshine mixed in next week.